Alright, so Steve, Kelly, and Kyle and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We played through it recently. We've been playing Pokemon games since we were young, and yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that we'd like to talk about just because it's a franchise that's kind of near and dear to us in some ways. I think most of us had it on the top 10 list that we made. It was pretty far up there.
Yeah, almost top 5, I think, for all of us.
Yeah.
Number 1 for me.
Number 1 for Kyle. So it's something that we do care about. We don't play every single Pokemon game that has came out, but we do all have Switches at least, so we were able to play this one, and we can get started whenever you guys are ready.
It took me a little while to get into this one. I haven't played a whole lot of the newer Pokemon. This is actually the first of the newer Pokemon that have come out within the last, I'd say, 5-10 years that I've actually given a good chance. It plays and feels and looks different than what I'm used to and what my nostalgia wants it to be. But the more time I gave it, I had a lot more positive things to say than I thought I would, which is good. But that being said, we've talked about it before, but man, it just feels like the more Pokemon they make, the more underwhelming they all seem to be, especially the starters. Like, I want the starters to be it can't be iconic, but at least like super interesting and like a hard decision. Like, oh, do I want the grass type or the water type or the fire type? They all kind of were not that impressive looking to me.
The starters,
not very exciting at all.
So
yeah, just take the Fire Croc. It's the most okay.
Yeah, just get the Fire Croc, and it's kind of the same thing because I played Sword and Shield, and it's like, oh, you just want to get the Grass Gorilla because it's
really
not a good starting Pokemon. It wouldn't win like out of Gen 3, Gen 2, or Gen 1, which are the gens that we all played the most, but it's just, the other options are just straight up bad.
Yeah, the water duck, I mean, I don't even really care that it looks feminine, but it doesn't look like imposing or impressive even. Like, there's nothing exciting about it. And I actually played as the, I forget what the base form of it is, but it ends up being Meowscarada, the grass type.
Cat.
Yeah. Even that, I was hoping for more. It just looks like a cat on 2 legs, I guess. I don't know, they could have done
I think they were definitely
more.
The waifu manga with that one a little
It was a sexy cat.
bit.
Except mine was male, so I wasn't sure how to feel about it.
Oh my.
Oh,
yeah. I think
that
I'd
is
get a
confusing.
female one if I did that.
Right? Can you get a female Mr. Mime?
Yeah,
Ooh,
sure. Wait,
good
actually
question.
some of them you can't, so maybe not.
Okay, I hope they had that attention to detail.
No, but that's kind of the problem with, I mean, it's more of a problem with the starters because... it's more of a problem with the starters just because you do want to grow that attachment to them. It's the ones that are with you there since the very beginning.
Yeah, I mean, it's your baby. You had him since he was little fella.
Yeah, it's your first one. You want it to be there at the end, too. But if
yeah,
it's not...
the Pokemon designs overall are really, really strange nowadays. I'd say, and that definitely falls into this game as well. Where I feel like there's some Pokemon that you're like, all right, that one's okay, that one's actually pretty cool, and then there's a lot of them that some of them just look so bad that you just don't want them to exist. Period. Like,
Right, I had that on a note too, same as Kyle, lame Pokemon, where it's like, of all the Pokemon we poured over to this generation, like, we took Klefki, you're not worth my Ultra Ball, you stupid key.
Like he was in the game. I don't know if I saw it. Yeah, that's the other thing too. I do have this as a positive and a negative, but does anyone feel there's too many Pokemon?
Yeah, I was both by positive and negative too. That's kind of funny.
It's nice that there's so many, so you have so many options, which is cool. But and you know, it still doesn't have every Pokemon that ever existed, I don't think.
It's getting to the point where there's almost too many, but if you take the black and white model, like the Pokemon black and white model, where if you're in that area, you're only experiencing the Pokemon that are new to that generation, then it feels a little bit, it just feels unique, like that area is its own thing. You're not running into like a Psyduck. I mean, I just think they should keep it, if they're gonna have extra Pokemon from different generations, maybe endgame content, or even like in the crater or something like that at the end of Violet and Scarlet.
All the old ones.
Right.
In a huge open world like this, I think they would need far more old ones just to fill out the map. But yeah, there used to be something special in Pokemon Red or Blue, Silver, or Gen 3. Like, they're not rare Pokemon, but like, if you saw a Dodrio or something, you'd be like, holy crap, It's not like what you think of when you think of like a legendary or something, but it feels like it's got a bit more weight to it. And when they just scatter these Pokemon around, or something like Gengar and Alakazam or something.
Right.
Like Sword and Shield had this problem too. Like they would just have Gengars walking around, and I'm like,
Yeah,
now when you
if
have that, you kind of lost the weight of what the rarity
Well, I
that
would
Pokemon had.
question how that Gengar came to be.
Right? Who traded him and released him
got
into
rid
the
of
wild?
him. Sure.
I do agree though. Like a final form Pokemon just roaming around there is kind of like
But the only
especially a
reason,
3-stage one.
yeah, the only reason why it wasn't a complete negative for me is I did kind of like it when they had one surrounded by a bunch of little ones. Like they'd have Persian surrounded by a bunch of Meowth or something. That's kind of fun.
Right? Little kittens.
Yeah, that was a nice visual. But you're right that it didn't. You know, since it's obviously not just random encounters and you can see the Pokemon, it doesn't feel as exciting. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Overall, like I did enjoy the game. I'd say a large reason for that is, you know, the open world. I feel like it is huge. Even seeing a city in the distance and then going to that city, the cities are pretty big, all things considered. It sucks that you really can't go inside of the buildings. I'm not saying I want to go inside of every building because that'd be a little too much, but
Yeah,
a few more
that can be
would
too
certainly
much.
be nice. But yeah, I don't know, just being able to actually see the world, and even if it does look very ugly, I don't know, there's something really cool to that. There's something really cool about making you feel like you're actually more in the Pokemon world than you've ever been. Like you can compare it to Gen 1, which is what we grew up with on Red and Blue, and there are certain routes that are like a few steps away from another town. Like the town where Sabrina's in, and then the town where the
Celadon and Saffron.
yeah, probably the one with the mall.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like how many steps away from each other? How's that not one town?
You just go right through the little terminal thing and you're there.
Yeah, you're in the next town.
But you need it's either a lemon or a soda pop to get through, or is it fresh water?
I think it was fresh water.
Might be fresh water.
But it's just actually being able to get more of the scope of the Pokemon world was really cool to me, and I feel like they did do a good job with that part.
Right. I can touch on the open world too. That I honestly really enjoyed the freedom that it had, where I felt like I could just go into so many places beyond my level and just like have fun with a challenge actually in a Pokemon game, which is different.
Right.
I'd say that that's definitely a plus too, because Pokemon games are always going to be easy, but now that you have the ability to actually go kind of break it.
But I did enjoy the open world in general. However, I did find myself kind of guessing at my next viable either gym or Titan or Star badge, like where I should be going. Because I think I got one gym badge, and then I stumbled onto like a level 30 something Team Star base, and I was just like, oh, it's close to where I was, so maybe this is where I need to be. But then I went back and I fought another gym base, and it was weaker than the one I had just beaten. And I was like, oh, so I'm just kind of guessing, like based on the levels of the Pokemon in the area, like where I should be going. So there's really no.
It seems like
It's not that it's not linear, but you're just kind of picking and choosing what you want to do when you want to do it, which is cool, but it doesn't have a whole lot of importance to it.
It seems like if you move farther up north, they're gonna have tougher Pokemon. That's what I found.
Yeah. Although I did make the mistake of assuming the guy at the normal gym would have been the easy one. Like, this guy looks boring. You cakewalk. Then he did a thing where he poisons, or where he has this thing that does double damage if you poison him, and he ended up being really hard, and I was under leveled, so like, I'll poison him. We'll get through this in the long run. Then he just keeps one hitting my guys, like, you asshole.
But it is cool that you have that option, I'd say.
Yeah,
Like,
I
that's
never
a
actually
plus
had
to
that weird challenge in a game, like in a Pokemon game, like, something actually killed me.
Yeah, and you're not
That's
even
a
doing
first.
like a challenge playthrough or anything. Like you're just.
I never
You're
used
challenging
terraforms, to be
yourself.
fair, just because
Yeah.
I think they look stupid, but
That is negative.
I just chose not to use them.
Yeah, see, I was right there with you, Steve. I also never terastallized. I thought that it looked really dumb.
Testiculized. Yeah.
Testiculized.
So that was a slight negative that I did write down, actually.
I actually like terrestrializing. I didn't use it a whole lot. I didn't think it looked that stupid, but as more of a mechanic, I thought it was cool to be able to like build a move set for, say, a water type Pokemon that has a dragon type move, terrestrializes into the dragon type, so you have a little bit of flexibility with your typing.
I guess the
I-
type
that's a
change
decent-
thing is kind
Oh.
of cool.
Right.
But I really
Yeah, it was a fun thing to play around. Like, I like the enemies terrestrialize, and I'm like, oh, what am I dealing with now?
Right.
But then I look at their stupid hat and like, ah, dork.
Yeah. They always seemingly have a new gimmick. At least I'm assuming that's going to be the case, since Sword and Shield had you just grow really big for 3 turns. And I think changing your type is probably more entertaining than that, as far as like a strategic thing than just doing more damage for 3 turns.
Yeah.
But I do think growing bigger is way cooler.
Yeah, I didn't play Sword and Shield, so I guess don't have anything to compare it to.
Sword and Shield definitely wasn't as good as this game.
Yeah.
But,
You talked about the cities a little bit, and I'll just say I didn't feel encouraged at all to explore the cities. I just kind of ran right through them. I just went to the gym or the Pokemon Center and just didn't care about anything that wasn't necessary for the story.
No, because
You know?
the cities are kind of, I like the way that they look, but yeah, the cities themselves don't really feel like they have, it's just like more open world. It's like you can
Right.
jump on the roofs and get more items like you can everywhere else.
Right.
Yeah, and my other complaint about cities on the most minor issues was there's 1,000 food shops in a city, and I just want to
Oh,
buy.
there are
Like, where the
so
hell's the
many.
held item shop? That's all I want. It's the only one that matters.
And then there's that
Put a
gym where
big
you got-
flag on that damn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about the food.
Yeah, did anyone make food?
No.
It's all the bonuses and the benefits seemed completely pointless,
I've
right?
never
Right.
tried it.
I think they were just trying to ride that cooking video game wave and like, yeah, we got cooking in our game. Make a sandwich.
Yeah. I mean, why? I mean, I guess it's like, oh, you can catch ground Pokemon easier if you eat this sandwich. Okay. It's not
Oh.
really hard to catch Pokemon anyway.
Right? I could have
You know?
caught the ground Pokemon in the time it would have taken me to make that sandwich.
Yeah. And I would have spent less money on an Ultra Ball than I did on all these ingredients. But whatever. I mean, the picnic concept was, I guess, fun just visually. You can have fun with your Pokemon and they're all running around. You can wash them and whatever. But
That washing part thing seemed weird. I never.
it was a little weird.
Yeah, I was watching videos. I never watched my Pokemon because it just seemed a little odd. They're way too sentient.
It's really weird that I spent 30 hours of my playthrough washing my Pokemon. I think that's pretty weird.
Hey, didn't you say you had the cat lady?
Yeah, the male version.
Cat dude. Yeah.
I only got I got 2 negatives left on my list here, so I'll just burn through them quick. I didn't feel like the game really started for me until after you were out of the academy, and I feel like getting to that point took longer than it needed to. It was like an hour plus of just
Story.
unnecessary tutorial and story that I didn't care about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of
I
a
can
waste.
see where you're coming from. And the academy itself does have like some people you can talk to almost have like some Persona level, or like not nearly as good as Persona, but it seems like they tried. Like Persona level relationship things, like you can talk to the nurse, and then it says that she likes you more after you talk to her a few times.
Yeah, I was trying to build that up too. I'm like, oh, no payoff.
Yeah. You're like, Persona, I don't know, I'm pretty sure.
Guess I'm just gonna go hang out with my
Sense
cat
in
Pokemon then.
Guess I'll have to wash my Pokemon again.
Can't wash the nurses. Oh man, what a waste.
Been scrubbing my Wiglet all day.
I can see where you're coming from there. I think that they have to give you the story at some point, and it's just more of a problem that sometimes clicking through the dialogue in these games can just be like, I don't know, the story just sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of killed whatever excitement I had at the beginning of like, oh, it's a new adventure, and I'm just kind of like, okay, all right, I would like to explore now. Okay, do I get to? No, okay, I guess. You know, it was just too much.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, but
I will say though, there was a dialogue part that did catch me, and that was the character of Clive during the Team Star.
Yeah.
Clive was awesome.
Yeah. It's a
And
shame
he's
that
so
he kinda
mysterious.
disappeared.
so
I know.
mysterious.
I think you would have came in handy to have Clive on your team for the final battle at the end, but
Right? I mean, the guy seemed really experienced for his age.
Yeah, that's true.
It probably would have been a hack if he did actually help you.
That's
It just
true.
would
He
have made
probably
the
did
game
it
too
all himself.
easy. So
yeah.
speaking of Clive, this is my last negative that I have, I believe. I did not care at all about the Team Star storyline.
No,
Yep,
all-
that's first on my
button
cons,
mash the
actually.
button.
Yeah.
Yeah, that boiled down to there's some kids that got bullied. They decided to put on some goofy outfits and skip school. And, that
And
was
somehow
about
they
it.
got bullied less.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like, I mean, I don't really.
Pretty
Yeah.
dumb before.
Bullying's bad, kids.
It is. But the answer's not putting on different clothes. You know, it's,
With a
I
bunch of
don't know.
other people and try to make that less bullyable.
I guess
Right.
they found friends, but yeah, do you really? I don't know.
Yeah, I miss the Team Rocket villain. Like, I want to
Yes.
fight
I was just gonna
actual,
say
like, gangsters, and yeah, that's the note I had on Team
Someone,
Star as well.
Even in like Gen 3,
Yeah.
maybe they overdid it there for a little bit. I didn't play most of those games, like Gen 4, 5, or 6, or whatever. I don't know. But I think having someone that's trying to destroy the world too could also be a bit more fun.
Yeah, overarching plot like that. Yeah, worked fine.
I think it's better than bully your kids. Like
Yeah, we're not even fighting bullies. We're fighting, I don't know, just a bunch of dorks.
I guess. I played Pokemon Black on an emulator before I played Violet, and even that, I forget what the name was, but their whole thing was rescuing Pokemon from the trainers, like restoring them back to the natural world and not treating Pokemon like slaves.
Right? Like a bunch of kooky hippies, like, that's a fun thing to fight.
Yeah, it's actually, even if you think it's whatever,
Yeah,
it's
of
at
course,
least
I really
got-
can't call them hippies when Pokemon are sentient. That's actually a reasonable thing.
But
Right,
Pokemon
that's
are like
actually true.
Gokus. They love fighting.
They love fighting.
Pokemon is a little
They love it.
Goku. So I guess talking about the story a little bit, I don't have it written down, but it does kind of have the 3 different plot lines. So we didn't
Mhm.
like the Team Star one because it seemed to have the most dialogue too. And the most dialogue, you had to press the button through as you're trying to learn about these
Yeah.
people you don't care about. But they did have the plot line also of you helping out the guy who's the professor's kid or whatever, and helping out his dog. And that was,
That was alright.
yeah, that
Yeah.
one's a
Yeah,
good
actually,
one.
I have that in one of my pros because that was like the one part in any of those storylines that actually like I found myself surprisingly care about. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like, oh man, I actually kind of feel for Arvin and his
Trying to get
relationship with his
his buddy back.
Pokemon. That's actually they kind of did a good job telling that story.
And it kind of feels like something you would get if you're like watching an anime or something.
Right.
Not that the anime's got a great plot line to itself either, but it's at least on that level. The bully guys, maybe
It's-
that'd be in an anime too. I don't know, but and I guess if we are going to talk about the other part of the story then too, I do kind of like how they mixed up the rival in this, that she was a champion before
Mhm.
they started. And then she just decided to use weaker Pokemon again because she's like a Goku as well, I guess. I don't know.
Right, just loves
Kind of,
fighting.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna bump into a negative here just because I'm thinking about it. This one's kind of a big negative for me. You can't make a fucking guy in this goddamn stupid game.
Yeah, I have that on the critiques too. I called it just gender neutrality. Like, everything just looks...
But it's not
Neutral.
neutral. It's all woman, or it's all little
Yeah.
girl. I'm
Wait,
all
what?
Woman. I feel like it's all little girl.
Trying to create a
Because
custom
they're
character,
thinking-
they're very feminine when you're trying to make a guy.
And then,
I've-
like, if you
my guy
try to
looks like an
take a
8-year-old boy.
selfie, mine doesn't. The 8? Yeah, they're supposed to be 10, dude.
Oh, my bad.
Right? 8-year-old boys look like girls, Kyle.
I feel like I wanted to be able to make my guy look more like a guy. I mean, even in the older Pokemon games, I thought the guy he played as, I'm like, he's cool enough.
Yeah, where's the beard?
And the beard.
Right, on the 10-year-old.
Yeah.
I would have taken it. But yeah, even if you just try to take a selfie or something, like, all the poses that you can do are insanely feminine. Like,
Mhm.
over the top. Not for me.
Also, too, like, the outfits are pretty lame.
Yeah.
Like, you don't feel like you're a unique character. You're just in school uniform that
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
else is wearing.
They had customizable outfits in Sword and Shield. So you could do that in that game and kind of A lot of it, actually.
Right?
Maybe the DLC.
And I like customizable outfit, but I'd settle for just like make me look different than everyone else,
Oh, yeah.
please.
Right?
Make the main characters look special or unique in some way.
Yeah, just something that makes them stand out.
I I I have a weird OCD thing, which you guys have experienced when watching me play Final Fantasy X. But my party needs to level evenly, even if it's like within a few levels of each other. It's got to be like, okay, the goal is 35. This one's 35. Now the next one gets to 35. Then the next one gets to
Mark needs to
35.
get leveled up more than the
No,
rest.
nope, never.
He doesn't because he's better than everyone. He
He's
doesn't
the
need it.
he's the first one to level up to the next level, but then everybody else catches up. Anyway,
Okay.
the experience share, I didn't like it at first as a concept because I thought it'd be too hard to keep everything even the way that my OCD brain wants it. But I actually found it to be less unappealing than I thought. It was actually, I felt it was less time grinding and it actually kept them closer in level than I thought it would. So I actually ended up liking that.
I
To
don't,
my
And I don't feel like they leveled too quick.
I
Yeah.
feel like they did level too quick. I do have that as a negative. Especially
Oh,
in
yeah?
the beginning, so maybe it's just...
In the beginning, they did. Yeah.
But at the end of the game, I felt like was at least a fair enough challenge for a Pokemon game. I don't think I ever lost, but there were a few times I got close. So, with some of the final fights. But in the beginning, when I was leveling, I kind of like it better too in the older Pokemon games when you would beat the Elite Four at level 40 to 50 instead of beating the Elite Four at like, I think I was like 60 and Kyle was probably like 69 or so.
63 to 65 for the Elite Four, I think.
Yeah, so I was still at like 58 to 60, I think. But
Yeah.
I think that's kind of too high of a level compared to what it is. It becomes an issue when you're trying to catch Pokemon because now you'll run into level 60 Pokemon. It's like, oh, I got level 60 Dratini, and then it's gonna evolve into a Dragonair in one level, and then it's gonna evolve into a Dragonite in one level. Because the old Pokemon weren't designed that way, or like you can catch a level 40 Ekans or something, which is going to evolve in one level again. It's just the old levels don't match what they're trying to do with these new level systems.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mhm. Although, I mean, I wouldn't be trying to catch an Ekans if I'm in an area that's in the level 40s. I kind of have my team already. I'm not looking for an Ekans.
Well, that's
You
the
know what I
problem though too. Like half the map is freaking level 40 Pokemon or higher.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, you want more time. Like especially with your starter Pokemon, you want more time with them being little guys.
Kinda.
A
I
little more
kind of get what
little
you're
time.
saying. With the little guys,
Just the little guys.
you want to
I
build the relationship and watch them grow and feel like
Yeah.
you're building to something. Sure. Let's talk about Miraidon and whatever the one on Scarlet is. Whatever that
Right,
guy's
the
called.
bikes.
Yeah. So, initially, when we did our playthrough, I thought we were kind of laughing about it. It looks silly. It's just like a Pokemon motorcycle. It's just dumb. But with it being essentially a mechanic that replaces the need for HMs, or at the very least, you don't need to surf. Like, you don't need the HMs at all. There are no HMs in this game. You can surf with them, you can glide with them, you can climb walls with them. And as you progress through the Team Star, or no, I'm sorry, no, through the Titan storyline, you actually gain more of these abilities, which encourages you to progress down that storyline and makes exploring the world a little bit more fun as a result.
Yeah,
It's a good mechanic. I enjoy it.
It's
Yeah,
in my
it does
comments.
look dumb.
It looks
Yep.
even worse, I think, as I played Scarlet. So having a dragon that just runs around but also inflates tire-like stomach parts. It's like,
Right?
what's
That's the
point
main
of this?
reason I picked Violet. Is it's like, okay, at least I can pretend it's actually a robot. Like, I don't have to actually like say that's an actual Pokemon. Like, nope, it's a robot bike.
Yeah, so the bike looks so dumb I didn't really use it unless I needed to climb up something or jump over something. But I did get more out of my playstyle, or my playthrough, I think, just walking around, making the map seem even bigger. So,
Dude, I thought the Titans would be stupid hard, so I actually saved them for way later until I got past most gyms.
Oh, really?
And then I'm like, dude, I've been going slowly this whole time. There's faster things. I had to do a weird cheat, like, kind of, to get up to the Psychic Gym where I'm throwing my ball at Pokemons on a ridge trying to
that's
get
cool,
up there.
though. I bet you felt
That was
good.
fun, yeah. Like,
Nice.
Yeah, no idea that, like, half the Titans were easy.
Yeah, they're pretty easy.
But I think you still could have gotten to that gym if you went around. Because I didn't have it either, and I still got up there. There was like another side path you could
Oh, well. Throw your Pokeball up cliffs, kids. That's how you get to places you shouldn't go.
take. Yeah.
Or just fight one Titan and
But yeah, I have
And then you're
the
good.
plus is also HM, so it's just how it is that it's handled here. I like the idea that you still unlock new abilities that make you think, well, maybe I can explore over there now. You know, kind of. That's what you want out of HMs. That's what made getting cut fun. Was like, oh, I remember all those bushes before. Now I can cut to see if there's anything over there. Using the
Right.
HM on your Pokemon and having it take up one of the 4 move slots sucked. But
Right.
getting the abilities to explore the map was really cool, and that was kind of missing from Sword and Shield. Like, I think you got a bike that eventually could float, and that was about it. And this one gives you way more with being able to climb up walls, jump higher, and I thought that that was a much better way of going about it, even if it did look dumb. So if they could just fix how it looks, I think that that'd be pretty cool.
So, from HMs to TMs, how'd you guys feel about the TM creation mechanic of the game?
That is
never
awesome.
used it.
I enjoyed it. I had to use it a few times just because I had moves that weren't 100% accurate, which means they're gonna miss all the time. Like they're gonna miss fucking 90% of the time if it's like 95 accuracy. I'm sure I'm not the only one that has this fucking issue. But then I also faced the AI, and they could hit me with the same fucking like play rough move. Like they missed 3 times in a row. I'm like, that's why I don't have that fucking stupid ass move. But so I had to get some TMs to get some better moves on my Pokemon, and honestly, the idea of hunting down where these Pokemon are, finding them, and then just like quickly getting items from them, it's a fun side task as far as crafting stuff goes. I don't think there's many areas where I'm going to say that this Pokemon game is better than Elden Ring, but this is best crafting, better than Elden Ring.
Elden Ring's weakest point.
Yes.
It beat that one.
Yeah, I agree. It's a nice balance between, like in Black and White, if you got a TM, you just have that TM, you could use it an infinite amount of times. But in like Gen 1, a TM was a 1 use and you're done. There's some that you could buy or that you could gamble for, but for the most part, you get like 1 Psychic, you get like 1 Ice Beam, or 1, not Ice Beam, but like a Body Slam or something, like a good move, you get 1, and you have to kind of choose where to use it and then you lose it. But this is a decent balance in between, where if you want more, you gotta grind a little bit and get the right materials, but you can make more. But it's not automatically infinite, so I thought that they did that pretty well.
Yeah, I thought that was a good balance too. I hardly use TMs, so again, like to me, it's like way too much thought for a game that's already not super challenging. Like, because it's a Pokemon game, so I'm not criticizing it in that regard. But
I don't think I made more than like 1 or 2, but it's just nice. It's a good concept, I guess. Better than
yeah, I had to give King Gambit low kick because he's a Steel type, but apparently he has to beat other Steel types to get that super final form thing. Or
That's
really?
kind of neat. So the fun evolution.
yeah, the final evolution of that little like samurai bug thing is obtained by beating other samurai bug things that are considered leaders in that area.
Huh. Now,
Yeah,
did you have to look that up, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely looked up evolution guides because at least for the ones that I wanted.
Pokemon look cool too, so looking
Right.
up evolution of Pokemon, I think, is pretty common for most people that play these games.
Yeah.
Right. For
Yeah.
any Pokemon I wanted, I looked up. Like for Annihilate, for example, that one, like I think that's actually in my top 5 coolest Pokemon of any generation. I really like Annihilate.
He is
It's a
badass.
cool Pokemon
Does
for sure.
everyone have an Annihilate on their team?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
And the way he evolves is hilarious.
Yes.
So it's
He's
just
so
like that's
angry
great.
that he dies.
It becomes a ghost type Pokemon.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
Still angry about stuff. He still wants to beat
He's
people
still
up.
angry. You did not get peace and death.
I kind of ended up enjoying having access to the Pokemon box at all times instead of having to go to the Pokemon Center for it or to a PC.
Okay.
I did too.
It's just nice to be able to, like, if I want to sit and catch a bunch of Pokemon, or if I'm looking for a certain ability or a certain type or whatever, it's nice to have the option to stay there, send it to the box, catch another one, check it, send it to the box, and whatever. I don't know, it's just a better convenience thing, quality of life. sort of deal.
Yeah, and I was always moving them around. I just had like water. I don't think I had enough boxes because I only caught like, I don't know, half the Pokemon because I was catching them all in the beginning. Maybe like a third. I have no idea. I caught a lot, but I feel like my boxes were getting close to filling up. I don't know if you get more of them after you catch more or what's going on, but.
Yeah, I don't recall if the boxes had this, but if they didn't, they should. Just a lot better auto sort systems. Like, just sort them by type, sort them by, like, name, something for me that I can organize this by.
Yeah, because I have to do that myself.
Or sort them by Pokemon number would be nicer.
I don't like Pokemon number, I like type. But
I think type would make more sense for people.
Fine.
I actually enjoyed the nature changing herbs that you could find. I think they're
Sword and Shield, but they're hard to get.
Okay. They were pretty rare in this one too, but it's still nice to be able to, like, for example, my Meowscarada has a naturally high attack, but the one that I got, its nature had low attack, high speed. So I felt like I really was just getting fucked on like my starter Pokemon, which is really a bummer. But when I found, I think it was like a Brave Mint or something like that, I changed its nature, and then all of a sudden it was a lot stronger, and I just felt a whole lot better about what I had. So just having that as an option,
He deserves
and not like
wash.
Huh? Oh, just give him another wash. Oh yeah. Good thing there's no gender changing mints.
I actually wanted that in Sword and Shield because I caught all the
Did you?
Pokemon in the very beginning. And one of them, I'm just like, this is like a man Pokemon. This one shouldn't be female.
Right? I catch a Jigglypuff, I'm like, that's not a male. No.
Yeah.
I throw that one away. I gotta get a female Jigglypuff here.
That's how I
All
feel,
pink
too.
Pokemon are female.
Yeah.
And fairies. I actually liked the quick farming mechanic. You could just press, what was it, like the right bumper or RZ or whatever it is, and your Pokemon goes out, battles. You don't actually do the full animation of a battle. It's just it'll win or lose automatically. I'm assuming based on like level and some other shit, but it really speeds up the grinding process, even though you get less XP per victory. But you can just sit there and throw your Pokemon instead of actually going through the animations of a battle. So it's a nice option to have if you don't feel like doing all the extra or actually battling, if you just kind of want to mindlessly grind
Yeah, I
that
never
way.
really used it, but I didn't think it was a detriment to the game. So as far as having an auto battle system, I normally think that that's a detriment. So I think that this way that they did it, especially since you don't have to go into the battle screen to do it,
Right.
I think it's acceptable to have in the game. It wasn't something that upset me.
And with it being optional too, you don't have to do it. It's just something
Except
you
for
can
when
choose
you
to if you
raid
want.
the bases.
Oh yeah, but you're not really even like you're not
Yes.
grinding at that point
It's
either.
also
It's just
just
a
nothing. You just do
Right.
it. It takes like a minute.
Right.
it's the team star bullshit. Who cares? My last little note here, this after you face a Pokemon, then like the next time you face it, then in battle it'll display the type effectiveness of your moves, whether super effective, not effective, or regular effective. That's just kind of handy to have, I guess.
think
I
they
was
had
liking that.
Sword and Shield, but I do
Yeah.
like it because there's so many new types now and so many
Yeah.
type combinations that it's actually difficult for me to know because there's so many different types of Pokemon. I knew it all when I was a kid, but I guess we have less types. To do with.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Back when we were like early days before Steel, even and all of those such like
Yeah, Steel,
no.
Dark, Fairy, like it's hard to.
And then now all the multi types like it's a Fire Steel. I don't even know where to start with this.
Yeah, I have zero clue. Lightning.
Meanwhile, Kyle, it's weak to this.
I'm good up till like until they introduce Fairy. I'm still not entirely sure what Fairy is good against. I think it's good against Dragon,
Fighting maybe.
Dark,
Weak
and
against
maybe Fighting.
I think Poison's good against it, so I know.
I don't know. Yeah, I had a Salazzle. That's the female salamander fire poison thing.
Probably
Yeah,
I watched
sexy.
a lot.
Probably male.
Probably.
No, she has to be female to evolve,
Okay.
which I thought was stupid.
Maybe if she's having sex with all these other little lizards. Whatever. I'm not gonna think about it. It's Pokemon. I'm excited that there's still more that I can do after beating the game. Like, there's still the legendary Pokemon, like, things to find. I don't know if it's going to be quite as involved as it was. In fact, I don't think it's going to be quite as involved as it was in, like, Gen 3. I think that probably had the best legendary search, even if the legendary sucked. Sorry, we don't like the Reggies here that much.
Oh
No.
yeah, those are kind of dumb.
Yeah, we were not huge fans of the Pokemon, but the search to get them in Gen 3 was actually really cool, and that was like really awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be quite that involved. It seems like you just find some stakes in the ground until you find them all.
Too many stakes.
Too many stakes.
Side critique.
How many stakes are there?
Like hundreds. No,
It's
like,
not
but
hundreds.
still a lot.
It's
Double
not
digits.
Double digits. What?
But I think it might be fun for me to go through that yet. I still have to do that. Kyle got a little bit farther ahead after beating the game, and you can redo the gym leaders and harder forms. That seems really cool. I
Yeah.
would be excited to do that. So
Yeah.
it just seems like there's still some more optional stuff. I think a lot of people probably want like a battle tower because that's pretty common in Pokemon games. Maybe in the DLC they'll add in one of those or something. I don't know if there is one currently. I didn't find it if there was. But I do think I think that there's more to just get a little bit more out of your playthrough in the game, and that's exciting for me.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I also have I like that there's bosses. I don't like that the cars were the majority of the bosses. I thought it was kind of lame to fight the nerds' cars. But
Right?
I do like that, like the final, like I'm just thinking what they should do is like every gym leader's final ace Pokemon should have a boss health bar. I think that would make that Pokemon feel a bit more grandiose, I guess, and I think that would be a good direction for them to move forward in. I like that there are boss health bars on some of these things.
Yeah, I think I didn't think of that until you said it the last time we talked, but you make a good point. Just if you want to make a Pokemon that a gym leader has, like their signature Pokemon, you could do the same thing that they already did with the Titans and with the cars, and give them that special health bar.
Mm-hmm.
It would be cool. It would be easily done. They just maybe didn't think of it, but they should be paying you, Kelly.
Mm-hmm. But, so I think it's kind of dumb though that you can easily learn your old moves. I do like that you can learn your old moves, but I think it should cost an item. That even if it's not like a rare item, maybe rare-ish, I think it's just a little too easy to just learn all of the moves that a Pokemon knew before. Because some of those were, I think, were supposed to be hard to get, like baby moves or something. I don't know, because it seems like some of them have really good moves that they had before I caught them. But, or like if a Pokemon evolves, it seems like they have just better moves right after evolving if you look at that list, and it just seemed way too easy to learn their old moves.
Yeah, I had that on my I wasn't sure list because I do like the convenience of just being able to do that. But I think you're right. It probably should cost something, even if it doesn't cost something that's like super expensive or whatever, or super hard to get. It should at least there should be a trade-off.
That's
I don't
one
know
I
what-
didn't even notice.
Maybe you
didn't
could
notice you
fucking
do it.
maybe you could sacrifice a sandwich for it or something.
Yeah.
There you go. Give that cooking
You know?
a purpose.
Mhm.
There you
Actually,
go.
don't give it a purpose. I don't want to do it.
Yeah. Well, you didn't do it anyway, Steve. So
Yeah, I
you're
guess.
fine. The other thing I have, I think, is mostly negative. Like, I didn't mind the challenges they had you do, but I think I'd rather have a bit more of some traditional gyms. Like, I remember the one where you had to sled down the hill. I did that in, like, I don't know, 10 seconds. And then it's just
Yep.
like, all right, you can battle a gym leader now. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, could you lose those challenges even? Like one of them, I felt like pushing a weird like fruit around into a goal. Like I thought I was screwing that up nonstop. And the bear like, hey, you won. Did I?
Sometimes they'll throw trainers in there, so I guess what they're trying to do is kind of create the same thing they have with gyms, where there's normally a gimmick or something that you have to go through while you fight trainers, but I don't feel like they were as strong as they were for the games that I remember playing as a kid. Oh, this is an obvious negative that I feel needs to be said, but I think everyone knows. This game looks and runs like shit. The people look pretty plasticky. The windmill literally moves at like 2 frames a second.
Yeah, I put performance as a minor negative. Like I had one crash, but otherwise I didn't really notice much aside from a slow frame rate every now and then.
It's just, yeah, I guess the worst thing about it, I don't think it looks pretty as a game, and I do think the frame rate stuff that are like more than 10 feet away from you is just like 2 frames a second. It's very noticeable.
I think it could have also used larger like structures or landmarks in the world, just to break up the big open space a bit more.
I think there should be voice acting. Especially at certain points. Hopefully you can still skip it because some of the story still sucks. But I want voice acting.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I do feel like at least for the main story bits there should have been some voice acting. At least your rival should have had a voice. I don't know, because you're
That didn't
talking to her
bother me that much.
constantly. A very obvious one that's been a problem since like all Pokemon games, or well, most, is one save file. Seems like needless nonsense these days.
Yeah,
Like-
you're not wrong. But I guess you can
True.
create another account. But
You can, yeah, exactly. Go through the whole rigmarole. It's just like, why are we still doing this? Why? Because some people get so pissed off about it, like me, that they buy a whole nother game.
I'm making another account on the Switch would be easier. But
I might buy the other game.
okay.
I got a goofy one that I doubt you guys would have. Poppy. She's one of the members of the Elite Four. But I'm
Oh,
sorry,
no.
the protagonist is supposed to be the child prodigy, not this little toddler that makes me feel like all my efforts training Pokemon are irrelevant since she didn't live long enough to even get into school. I mean, I know it's a kid's game, but it undermines everything your protagonist is doing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm the best trainer ever. I can not read, but I have best Pokemon ever. Screw you, Poppy. You get out of here. Your daddy gave you those Pokemon or something. Like, no.
It is
Major con. Top of the
it's
list.
Your God.
top of the list, he says.
Poppy.
So overall, though, with a lot of the negatives that are still going to exist, and the fact that Pokemon games are just kind of generally easy, and Pokemon games aren't perfect, but I think that there's still a pretty fun experience to be had here with this game. I was pleasantly surprised overall. I think that there is still fun to be had from an old Pokemon fan going into it, and it does seem like it's far better than the Sword and Shield game that came before it.
Yeah, I'd agree. Pleasantly surprised would be my overall reaction to this game.
Yep, couldn't say it better. Did not expect to like it. Didn't even want to play it for a little while, and then actually enjoyed it once I forced myself to. So, it's good. Real quick, how did we feel about the ending?
Oh, did Steve beat it?
Yeah, I beat it.
Did you?
Did you? Yeah, good question, Kelly.
Don't. Yeah,
Did you beat
sorry.
it, or did you beat the 8th gym?
You talk about your nonsense, like, did you go into some other thing and get Mewtwo, or...
No, what was the last?
Or did you go to Kanto? Like,
you have
no.
the credits
I
roll?
beat the Elite Four
Yeah,
in Fire
did you
Red.
did you have the credits roll? Is a good question.
I'm pretty sure I did. We're talking
what was
about
the last thing you did?
Yeah. There you
Like, last thing I did was give up on a steak hunt, because I'm like, screw this.
Okay, what was the last story thing you did?
It was the whole time-traveling professor thing.
Oh, okay, he
go.
did
Alright,
beat it.
yeah. Alright.
We had to ask because he doesn't do side stuff normally, so I thought you just beat the Elite Four and be done. Kyle always
Yeah,
did that.
Steve played Pokemon Silver and beat the Elite Four and did not go to the other half of the game because he beat
No.
the Elite Four.
I beat the Elite Four. That's the end of the game. That was the end of the game for the first one. Why
He
would
also
there be
never
more?
went to go
I'm
play
the best.
Mewtwo. He never went to
Because I'm the best. Why would I need another Pokemon?
Mewtwo's the world's strongest Pokemon.
Yeah, but I'm the strongest trainer.
Yeah, so you have to battle him.
It's just redundant to get him.
But that's all we got today. We enjoyed the game overall. I hope you did too. And thanks for listening.